So we're getting back in the rhythm of being very, what's the word? Every Wednesday we have our weekly training. So I'm really excited to be back with you guys. If you do know me, you know that I love getting together every Wednesday. It like completely fills my cup. We could literally sit here in silence and I'd be like, yes, that was so good. Like, I love my team. They're awesome. So I'm just really excited to be back with you guys. And I know Rochelle is too. And we actually, little spoiler alert without having too many of the details hashed out, but some of the weekly trainings coming up, we're going to have some guest speakers, and I'm really, really excited for them because they're going to be able to give us some like great in-depth training of some things that they're doing that's really working and that themselves and their team are winning from. And I am just like all about that. And tonight we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about like vision and belief and just casting some real vision for all of us as a team throughout the rest of 2020 and into 2021. And I just really feel like it was on my heart to talk about the things that I jotted down because they keep showing up. I keep seeing them, or I keep hearing about them, or it's in my self-development, or it's on a leadership call, or, you know, it just keeps showing up. And I feel like whenever something shows up over and over and over, there's a real true reason for that. And so I am like, okay, this is what we're talking about tonight because I keep seeing it and I feel like the team needs to hear it too. So I did take some notes. The things that I've been listening to that I've really been seeing this in is one, I've been reading a new book called oh, I'm going to ruin the name. I think it's called You Can Do Hard Things or something like that, but it's actually by a double ambassador in this company named Sherry Lynn Alcala. Yeah, it's called You Can Do Hard Things. And I started reading it probably right when we moved in or so. And then it's funny because we had a VIP call yesterday and they actually brought up the book in the VIP call and everyone was like, yeah, it's so great. And I was like, it is actually, because I had been reading it for a couple of days now, but the first or second chapter, I'm only through a couple of chapters, but it's just been like so good. And if I can be completely honest with you guys, the like introduction to the book almost felt, to me personally, it was almost like sugar coaty. And I don't know if that's the right term, but it was almost like, okay, I've read this book a million times without ever reading this book. Like I felt like I'm going to know everything that she's already saying. I've already heard all this before. Like, you can do hard things. Like, yeah, I know. Cool. Everyone tells me that all the time. But then I got into chapter 1 and chapter 2, and I was like, oh, this is gold. This is like straight up gold. So that was just a little shout out. I encourage you guys to pick up that book. You can either get Audible or just the book, but it really has been, it really is so, so good. And honestly, Sherry Lynn didn't accidentally become a double ambassador, didn't accidentally become top 10 in her first, I think, like 2 years in the company, and has steadily stayed at top 10 and has gone between like number 2 and number 4 income earner throughout the last 5 years. Like, she's always been in the top 5. And it's called, I saw someone just ask, it's called, I'll just type it, You Can Do Hard Things. I'm a terrible typer. And it's by Sherry Lynn Alcala. There you go. So anyways, the notes that I took is a combination of things that I heard today from one of her chapters about vision, plus the leadership call yesterday, which was with Mark, the CEO of the company. So I got a lot of good little tidbits over the last couple of days from these people who just happen to be people that I want to be not necessarily surrounding myself with, but like they are where I want to be, you know, or I look up to them in some way. And so I was just really excited to share these things. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes. And I just hope and pray that the things that I say aren't just going to come off as bullet points to you guys, and that they'll really, really resonate with you like they do with me, like they did with me. Because I have a tendency to like feel so much and so much emotion when I'm reading the book, and then I take notes, and then when I come back to you guys, I feel like I'm just reading you my notes, and that's not really what I want to do here. I want you guys to feel it like I felt it, because it truly is amazing. So one of the things that she said is we need to be dreaming, but we need to be dreaming so loud and just having an excitement that gets the rest of our team excited. And if you don't have a team, if you don't have any distributors on your team yet, that's okay. It's still important to be dreaming loud for the people who are watching you to see, for the potential people that are going to be on your team, for the people that are watching you that will be on your team one day. They need to see your excitement. They need to see how happy you are here, because that type of excitement is so contagious. And I truly remember in my first couple of months here, like we all start in the same place, right? Like we all start with 0 distributors. Most of us have 0 clue what the heck we're doing. For me, I didn't even know the products when I started. Like I didn't even know what we sold when I started. Fair, my enroller, she gave me a wrap for free when I signed up with her. And I was like, cool. Didn't even know what a wrap was. Like, and I mean, had never tried a product. And beyond that, I feel like back in the day, everyone knew what like Mary Kay and like Tupperware was, right? Like this is like our moms then, or our grandmas or whatever. And then now I feel like it's really taken like this full circle because of the digital like social media age. And it seems like everybody nowadays knows what like direct sales is, or online social selling is, or being an influencer is. Well, I feel like I was in this like weird little gap, or maybe I was just naive. I don't know. But I felt like I was in this weird little gap where I had no idea what this like direct sales, multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it was. And so when I started with Fair, I literally had no clue what I was doing, you guys. Like no clue. But I jumped right in, and I feel like I was just excited because I was doing something new. And so I was shouting it from the rooftops, and I was copying other people, trying to copy the right cats. And that excitement got me somewhere, you know, like my journey, I feel like my journey was a little bit slower. It took me 6 months to go ruby, 7 to go emerald, and then 8 to go diamond. And I feel like 8 to go diamond isn't that crazy, but like 6 to go ruby, that's a big stretch. Especially since our team goes ruby in 30 days, you know what I mean? So anyways, it took me a little bit longer to get there, but I was excited from day one, and I was sharing it and shouting it from the rooftops from day one. And if I can be completely honest and transparent with you guys, I feel like we've lost that. I don't feel like we're doing that. And I don't just mean me and you and our team. I feel like a lot of us in the industry stopped doing that. Like if I go back and look at my memories, I would do little posts where I was just like, my team is blowing up. Like we are just out of control. Sales are, I never said sales, but like enrollments are through the roof. Like even if we just got like, even if we signed 1 LC this week or something, you know, like I was shouting it from the rooftops. Whereas now I feel like, and maybe it's just me personally, but drop a 1 if you feel the same way, where like it feels like you're doing the same thing every day. Like in the morning, I post about my coffee. In the afternoon, I'll do a random post not related to It Works. And then at night, I'll do my opportunity post, and then I'm done for the day and I start fresh tomorrow. And though, you know, I'm in this like rhythm where I stopped like being excited. I stopped, and not that I lost the excitement on the inside, but I stopped like screaming it from the rooftops type thing. And so that's one thing that I think that we as a team need to like do again. Just heck, if you haven't posted in the last hour, go do it right now. Take a break. I mean, don't take a break. Keep listening to me, but like put it on your list to go do right after this meeting, like just a quick post that's like, I love my team. Like, we just got off a team meeting and I'm so fired up, and this team's going to move mountains. The next 90 days are going to be incredible, and I'm so excited for it. No call to action, no text opportunity if you want to be part of this too. Just tell people how crazy happy you are to be in this business and have this opportunity right now. Like, that's the excitement we're looking for. And I kind of got off track here, but the point is this excitement is not only going to fire up the people watching you, but it's going to fire up your team if you have one, and it's going to fire you up. Honestly, like, you need to feel that fire too. And a lot of us have lost that fire, and I'm going to go into this more, but a lot of it is our thoughts and our actual like actions and words and the things that we say out loud. Like, what's going on up here. And I did a live in Team Bomb Diggity earlier this week about the thoughts in our head and our mindset is what it really is, right? And the thoughts that we have take so much hold on us. And if we're letting the negative, doubtful, yucky thoughts like overtake us, then how can you possibly be successful in this business? And I challenged anybody that watched that live to, maybe you have to like physically write it down. For me, I was catching myself. And wow, it was such a wake-up call to see how often I was catching myself throughout the day, where heck, it could have been a great day. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, the devil came in and was like, here we go. And was like, you haven't promoted in a long time. Like, maybe you will never be ambassador. And then I was like, wait, maybe I will never be ambassador. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, and then you spiral like within a couple of seconds, you're like, oh, no, this isn't for me or whatever, and maybe it's not even business related. Like, my kids have been testing me so much lately, you guys, to the point where, I've been mean. I've been a mean mom, and not like mean in the way that I have been responding poorly to them. They have been so whiny, and for whatever reason, their whines are truly getting under my skin, and I snap so hard. And in the moment, I feel like the only way for them to understand how upset I am is for me to yell. And honestly, I'm probably doing the worst thing that I could possibly do. Like, every time they whine, I yell. And then they're gonna, it's a terrible thing. And I'm praying so hard about it and just trying to change it. But it's the same thing where I need to wake up and automatically say, look, I'm going to be a patient, nice mom today. I'm going to respond in a different way. And I've been doing that every morning, and I've gotten a little better. I still yelled at least 4 times today, honestly. But it's all just, it's growth, you guys. And we're all just trying to grow here. But the point is like, what you think in your head has so much power over you. And if you just take 48 hours to truly think about the things that you're thinking about, and then switch them so that you're having positive thoughts instead of negative ones. Like, I literally will, when something negative sneaks in, I will stop. I hear it, we all hear it. And when we're like consciously trying to hear it, you'll hear these negative thoughts. And I literally will say, no, like, stop thinking that way. And then I'll flip it to what I want to be thinking. And it feels so good to be like, the devil wasn't able to have that power over me right here, right now. It feels so good to be able to catch those thoughts and to switch those thoughts to something positive. When the devil says, you can't do this, I'm able to say, no, actually, I'm going to be an ambassador. This is an ambassador team. And I already know that. And I've known that for a year. And just because we aren't there yet doesn't mean we aren't going to be. And just et cetera, et cetera. That goes for all the different circumstances in my life and for yours. The negative thoughts you start to think, you gotta switch out those thoughts. You gotta flip the switch and 180. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys. And another thing that Mark said yesterday that I really loved was, he was just talking about the year and how he was kind of giving us a rundown. He was actually giving us analytics and numbers of, which for me, I'm not agreeing. So I was listening, but like numbers go in one ear and out the other. But he was giving us a rundown how first quarter was a little rough. COVID kind of came in at that time. Second quarter, we actually like skyrocketed, which is reverse of what normally happens for us, because normally first quarter we come off of conference, all the distributors are on a high, we're all running our butts off for bonuses and stuff. So it swapped this year. And then he talked about how third quarter, because of pick 2, pick 3, other promos that we did, third quarter was amazing. And he said notoriously fourth quarter can be a little bit down in sales. And he's like, but this year that's not going to happen. And so they have a lot of really great stuff lined up for us that I'm really excited about. And I can't share any of it because I don't know. It's all, it's secrets, but I'm really, really, really excited to see what they come out with, because one thing that I really did get from this VIP call yesterday, I needed this call really bad because I just needed to, it almost felt like it felt like I was walking out of conference, which if you guys have ever been to conference, you know what I mean, where your cup is so full and you just feel so much confidence in yourself, but in the company too. You have so much belief in the company, because on a year like this year, where there's just been so many ups and downs, not just in your own personal business, but in the company too, where you're seeing that they're having to bob and weave too and figure out like, what are we doing here? But having the CEO like just lay it all out for you and be like, look guys, we know that this year hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies, and the pick 2, pick 3 has been amazing as far as getting customers that we wouldn't have gotten because people were tight with holding tight to their money. And he's like, but listen, we understand that BV is low. And hopefully I'm not over too many people's heads. Like if you're brand new, you might be like, what are we even talking about right now? But I think that this is important because many of you have been here all year and you know what we've been going through. And so we've been getting tons and tons of customers. This team's enrollments this year have been higher than they've ever been. But here's the reality check. We're looking at our paychecks and they're the same or they're lower. And that's a gut punch because it feels like we're doing more. Like, why did I just sign 20 customers and my check's the same? The reason is because our customers' BVs are lower. And the way that the company looked at it what am I trying to say? Is we brought on customers that we never would have even brought on, and checks would have been even lower. But because of the pick 2, pick 3 and the other promos that we did, we have those customers. And what they're doing now is figuring out ways to keep those customers and to get them interested in products with higher BV. And they're coming up with ways to help us do that. So we have the opportunity to talk one-on-one with our customers and upsell them or change them to other products that have higher by BV, but the company's doing stuff to help us too. And a lot of this is all going to be like laid out and unfolded for us over quarter 4 and even into quarter 1. But if you think about it, that makes sense, because for me, this happened to me. You guys, this is me. So if it happened to me, then I know it had to have happened to a lot of us. And some of you have even come to me and said it, but it's like, why did I sign so many customers and my paycheck was either the same or less? Like, it doesn't make sense. What's going on? That's what's going on. You signed a ton of customers, but the BV was lower on them. So it was the same as signing 10 last year. Does that make sense? Drop a 2 if I'm making any sense. Numbers are not my thing. Hopefully I'm like speaking English here. But the point of this is that it was really nice to have the CEO of the company validate the way I was feeling, saying, I know how you're feeling and we're going to help you. We're going to make sure that things change. We're going to make sure that you guys are happy. And the way he kept explaining it is this company is made of 3 legs, like a bar stool, three-legged bar stool. You have the field, which is us as distributors. You have the customers, and then you have the corporate team. All 3 need to be equally balanced for the chair to be level, right? And so he's making sure that all 3 of these legs are balanced. And he's like, but right now the field is struggling and we can't let that leg get knocked out. So we are going to do something to change that. And I have so much faith in our CEO that I believe him, basically. Like, I believe what he says. He's not one to just be full of smoke and mirrors or lies or whatever. Like, I believe him. He can't let this 3rd leg knock out, you know? So that was not in my notes, you guys. That just came off the cuff from my heart, because I do believe that so many of us have kind of like gotten the wind knocked out of our sails in a way. And I just want to make sure that you understand. I wanted to pass on that information so that you could understand that, like, things are not going to just stay the same. We are making moves. The company's making moves. The company's going to take care of us. And, you know, it's just, he said that it's like, I think he said a river or a lake or something. Like, if you're, you know, he's going to do his part to keep this body of water moving, but you can't stay stagnant either. If you're staying stagnant, then it's just going to start to stink, right? Like, have you ever been around just stagnant, stinky water? He's like, but he's doing his part to keep it flowing, but we have to do our part to keep it flowing too. And the way that we do that is through recruiting and through dreaming again. And that right there, like, the recruiting is like, well, duh, like, I'm trying to do my dang steps to success. Like, just get out of here with all that. I'm working on it. But the dreaming again is what got me, because even though I know I need to be dreaming, and I think I talked about this 3 weeks ago, where, like, I didn't stop dreaming, but I kind of like lost sight. I lost sight of what I was really doing here. Like, we start to get into just like the rhythm of it, and like the KPIs and like getting all our stuff done every single day. And like, we either feel great when we go to sleep because we got it all in, or we feel like crap because we didn't. And it's just like, it just becomes monotonous and the same thing. And we forget to like dream. We forget to dream, you know? And so that's why, like, your dream board is so important to have right in front of you. And I actually just pulled mine out from a box, and I'm really excited. I'm actually going to hang it, instead of in my office, I'm going to hang it in my closet, because I know I go in my closet every day. Whereas probably the last 2 months, because I've been like, I don't want to say all the way stagnant and stinky, but like somewhat stagnant, I'm like, I don't want to go in my office. I don't want to sit in a chair at a desk. I want to be on my couch or outside or whatever. And we have that luxury that we can work from anywhere, but I wasn't going in my office and I wasn't seeing my dreams. And it's really important that you actually see them. And so, I don't know. It all just like I said, it's all kind of compounded on me, where I've just been hearing so much of it. And I was like, wow, I need to dream again. I need to like reset. And I did. I like wrote down some of my new dreams. And I think that 2 really important things that we need to be doing, this is the challenge, so get ready to write it down. But 2 things that we need to do is, well, the big picture here is we need to dream again, right? And so you don't necessarily need to like redo your dream board. If you've never done one, then do a dream board. Let me get mine really quick. So mine is just a piece of whatever this is called, whatever this stuff that you buy from the store. I don't know, whatever. Poster board. And then I printed out a picture that I just made on my phone in like WordSwag or something. And it just had my I did this in January or December with a chunk of the local team. And it's just all of my big dreams. And some are personal, some are business, some are financial goals, some are family goals, some are like marriage goals. I wanted all of it. You know, some are like bank account goals, like all of it. I put all of it on there. And I gotta take these earrings out, they're hurting. And I, you know, it's fun to look at these things and see the ones that you did cross off, but the ones that you didn't, it's fun to just keep working towards them. And so anyways, the point is if you have never done a dream board, go ahead and do one. But if you haven't done a dream board, I'm not saying you have to go buy a new poster board from wherever, from Walmart, and like do a new one for the last part of the year, but write it down. Sherry Lynn said in her book that some professor did a study on it where 42%, I think it was 42%, when you physically write down your dreams on a piece of paper daily, you're 42% more likely to achieve those dreams. And the daily was a big one for me because I wrote my dreams down on my dream board. Why do I have to write them down every day? But it's that daily part where it's 42% more likely for it to happen because you're physically writing it down every morning to the point where now you've memorized them. You're crystal clear on what your dreams are. And, you're manifesting it. Yeah, Rochelle just put it in. You're manifesting it. And then she went on to say, so that's step one. Step one is I want to challenge you guys to start writing, figure out what those dreams are. Maybe there's 10, maybe there's 5, maybe you just have 3 big dreams that you want to accomplish before the end of the year. Write them down every single day. And then she went a step further to say, then say them out loud, scream them out loud, or say them to yourself in the mirror. I remember Ashley used to tell me that she would do that, where she would like, she's like, Shelby, I feel like a really big dork right now, but I'm like saying my dreams out loud in front of the mirror. And I was like, oh, okay, I gotta try that. But when you say them out loud, but then she was like, but say them like they already happened, or that they are already happening. So instead of just being like, I'm going to read one. I'm going to try to find one. So just like for me, Ambassador Diamond, I am Ambassador Diamond. Instead of just like, I want to be Ambassador Diamond. It's like, I am Ambassador Diamond. So saying them out loud like they've already happened. So that's 1, 2. And then 3 is visualizing them. So like if your goal is to be triple diamond and to be a VIP and to sit in the VIP section at conference, even though it's virtual this year, this coming year, but to talk on stage one day, like these are just things that Sherry Lynn actually said in her book that are just spouting off. Because she was like, I sat at the back at my first conference. I had only been in for a couple of months. And she was like, I'm blind as a bat. I'm sitting at the very back of this huge stadium. And she's like, next year, I'm coming back and I'm sitting in the front row in VIP as a VIP leader. And not only that, but I'm going to be talking on stage. She said she wrote them down. She said them out loud. And that next year she did. She accomplished all of those things. And she gave a disclaimer. She's like, listen, just because you do this doesn't mean they're all going to happen within the year. It doesn't mean they're all going to happen within your time, your timeline. It's God's timeline, but it's important for you to be thinking about how it's going to be when it does happen. You need to be thinking about it. You need to be manifesting it, and you need to be visualizing it. And honestly, it's kind of fun to visualize it, because I personally will, if I wake up grumpy on the wrong side of the bed, or my kids kept me up all night or whatever, I say like, oh, I'll do my devotional and I just feel like $1 million and my day is great. But that's not how it always is. I'll do my devotional and maybe like I fell asleep halfway through, or whatever happened. And so I did my devotional kind of, and then the rest of my day's still not great. But when you take the time to write down your dreams, say your dreams out loud, visualize what it'll feel like to accomplish those dreams. When you do these like steps, you can't skirt through that. You can't like halfway visualize, you know what I mean? And so when you're doing all of the things, it truly, for me, at least personally, really, really, really fills my cup when I do those things. So I want to challenge you guys to do that. Even if you just do it for a week and see how you feel doing it, but push it past that and do it for as long as you can. And maybe you used to do it and you stopped. Well, start doing it again, because it's crazy to think like I was very, very consistent with journaling and affirmations and visualizing, and I went triple, and then not long after that went presidential, and triple. It had been a good chunk of time between double and triple. I sat at double for a long time, you guys. And then I got really, really intimate with my visualizations, my affirmations, my I am statements, and I went triple. And then my shortest promotion, my shortest like waiting period, I guess you could say, between promotions was between triple and presidential. And it's because I stayed very, very consistent with doing those things. And so I do think that there's a correlation there. I truly do, you guys. Like vision and belief are so important. And then the last thing that I'm going to say before I pass it over to Rochelle for a minute, because I need to get some water, is I love that she said this, but belief and vision are not just things that we are born with. You know, what did you just say, Rochelle? Oh,
I was just talking about your triple to pres.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, no, I can't. I'm busy. I'm like, oh, wait. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So belief and vision are not things that you're just born with. Like some people might have more of a knack for it than others, but it's probably because their parents or their family or people that they're surrounded with really instilled it into them. But you're not born with those things. And it is a muscle, and a muscle that you have to grow. So if you think about it like the gym, like you aren't just accidentally going to have these defined chiseled muscles. Like you have to work for it, you guys. And the same thing goes for the belief and vision. And the only way that you're going to have that belief and vision is by working on it. And you know, that's why this challenge is so important to me that you guys do it, is because some of us just don't have that vision right now. Or maybe you think you have the vision, but there's something holding you back. Like this team used to be, and I'm not saying that it's terrible, because it's not, but this team used to like straight up blow it out of the water with distributor enrollments. And this is when we didn't even have codes or promos for $59, $49, $29, like whatever. This is when it was $99 or not. Like you either join for 99 or you don't. And we blew it out of the water with enrollments. And I feel like, I don't know, and it could be like a leadership, it could be all different things. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I truly think that a big part of distributor enrollments is we lack vision, not even vision, we lack belief in that department. I don't know if we're afraid of the conversation, like we're not sealing the deal, or if we're afraid that of once we sign the distributor, what do we do with them? But there's some dots that are not connecting for all of us on this team as far as distributors go. And I truly think a big part of that is the belief portion. And so I want you to work on belief in yourself, and that all ties in with the vision too. And just understanding and remembering that it's a muscle that you have to grow, and it's something that you have to work on every single day, and that you have to fail forward with it. And that having terrible conversations with potential distributors, first of all, you can always go to your leaders, your sidelines, or anybody, your team page, the units, YouTube, corporate page, like you can go to anybody. There's so many resources to help you, but it's better to have a terrible conversation with a potential distributor than no conversation at all. Because if you don't ask, it's always no. but you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. The right person is always gonna join whether you want them to or not. And if they are determined to succeed in this business, then they're going to. We shared this with you guys before, I think maybe it was another Zoom, but somebody asked in this focus group that we're in for VIPs and top income earners and such, there's 200 of us in there, and they did like this quick little off the cuff poll where they were like, how many of you guys never had an enroller to go to? Like your enroller quit and you just didn't have anyone. And it was crazy to see that. I don't know the percentage, so I'm not going to make one up, but a great amount of the top 200 income earners in this company never had an enroller. I mean, they did. Everyone has an enroller, but never had anyone that they could go to and be like, hey, where do I find that product info? Or like, hey, how do I sign an LC? Or hey, how do I chart? Or they didn't even have a team page. They didn't have anything in the top 200. And it really just goes to show that you don't need any of that to be successful in this business. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't hold the right person back from going all the way. You truly can't. And I do believe that we have so many just like amazing, talented, hungry, gritful, that's not a word, people full of grit that really could be leadership and beyond, VIP elite ambassadors, double ambassadors, like black diamond, like so many of us, but we're lacking the belief and we're lacking the vision. And so it's so important, I think, that we as a team work on that. We know where we're going. I hope you all know that this is an ambassador team times 2, like times 3, times 4, times 5, like we don't need to hold ourselves back based on other things. Like we are going somewhere, you guys. And maybe you've been stagnant for a while. Maybe you're a little bit stinky. That's okay. It's just moving on at this point. It's moving forward. It's doing what Mark said, recruiting and dreaming again. Start dreaming again, you guys. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to let Rochelle pick it up. I'm going to go get a quick drink of water. I'll be right back.
Hey guys, I'm Rochelle. I'm one of your Presidential Diamond leaders. In case you're new here, can you guys hear me okay? Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I took some notes while Shelby was talking because I think there's just a couple things that we could even go deeper on. So when you're journaling and doing your affirmations, one of the things that she said was, I am, before her affirmation. So I am ambassador. I am an amazing mother. I am, all of these things that you are going to write down as your affirmations. I want you to know something about the words I am. Okay. Drop a 2, 3. I don't know what number we're on. Drop a 2 if you are spiritual, because when you say the words I am out loud, you're actually calling on God. Okay, because he is the great I am. He is somebody that's what we call him. That's one of his names. And so when you say, I am ambassador, you are literally saying, Lord, I am ambassador. You're calling him and he is hearing you every time that you do one of those affirmations. So I don't know who needed to hear that tonight, but it was something that like I heard so long ago. And when Shelby said it, I was like, that's right. We're calling on him every time we do these affirmations. And it was so, so good. I had to share it. The other thing that when you're journaling, that what you want to do is not just journal where you want to be, but journal what it's going to feel like when you get there. Okay. So instead of just saying like, I want to be debt free. I want to, or I am debt free and things like that. Those are all great. But at the same time, what is it going to feel like when you actually have it happen? So write and journal like, I just paid off my last credit card. It feels like this. And then write what you feel, because as you start to manifest these feelings and what you want to feel, you're going to, it's going to start happening in your life because your brain is thinking that it's already happening because you're convincing yourself every single day that those things have already happened. Hopefully this is making sense, but make sure that you're not just, I want all of these things. It's I am, and this is what it feels like. One of the things that really stuck with me, a top leader, Amanda Boucher, said that when she started journaling every day about what it would feel like to go ambassador. She went from a double diamond to an ambassador. I'm gonna butcher this, but I want to say it was like less than a year. Like less than a year from double diamond to ambassador. You guys, that volume jump is like 25,000 to like 250,000. Okay. In less than a year, she did that because she was journaling what it would feel like for her e-suite to update with Ambassador Diamond, like the day that it did. And then once she went ambassador, she started to write down what it would feel like to have over 500,000 in volume. And I remember I was actually with her at an event when she said, you know, I've been journaling this for like 6 months, that this is what it's going to feel like. And tomorrow, you know, it was going to be the 25th the next day. And she's like, tomorrow we're going to hit over that 500,000 mark. And it was just so incredible to be with her because the power of her believing in it, she had just watched it happen over and over and over again. And you guys, it doesn't have to be ambassador. It can be diamond. It can be ruby. You know, it can be the 400 club, whatever it is for you. It needs to be something that you feel so passionate about that you're writing this down as if it happened. What's that going to feel like? Are you going to be able to fill your gas tank without even blinking? Are you going to be able to order grocery? I say order groceries, you guys, because I don't even go to the store anymore. I literally am just like, oh, we need that. Okay, we got it. We got it here because it's just so simple. But seriously, like whether it's ordering groceries or going to the grocery store without thinking about it, without having to think, do I have to put this back or can I put this here? Like, what's it going to feel like to do that, to be in that position and journal that, write it down. Okay, so another thing that she said is that you're not born with it. You're not born with the things that she was talking about, but another thing that popped into my mind was confidence. If we're struggling with signing distributors, not only is it belief, but it's also confidence. Drop a 3 if you would agree that you struggle with confidence, okay? Because confidence is something that we're not born with it. Okay. It's a muscle, just like Shelby said, that we have to learn how to use. And as you know, the only way to strengthen a muscle, right, is to continue to work on it, right? So if you want a better butt, okay, you're gonna get, I'm just like talking out my butt. But seriously, if you want a better butt or like a more muscular, you know, frame or better thighs or whatever, you're gonna have to go to the gym and you're gonna have to work on that muscle. You're gonna have to do a crap ton of squats to get your butt to pop. Do you guys know what I'm saying? And so you're gonna have to work on that muscle. So if confidence is something that is not something that's second nature to you, I got news for you. Just because I have so many people that come to me and they're like, you're so confident. You guys, I learned how to be confident. And you know how I learned how to be confident? I failed a lot. I failed a lot. I had a lot of conversations that went nowhere. I had a lot of conversations that you know, put me down and made me think that I couldn't do this. And I thought, you know, how in the world can I keep going? Like I had a lot of those conversations in my inboxes about this business. But over time, I developed confidence. I developed knowledge. I developed growth through my self-development that as I started getting these negative, even if it was like negative responses or if it was just questions, you know what I mean? Like people coming to me with questions, I was more confident in how to answer them. And here's what I know from the bottom of my heart, whether it's a negative response, a positive response, a question, an objection, whatever it may be for you. What I know for a fact is that this business may not be for everybody, but it can absolutely change anybody's life if they're willing to let it. Okay, so right there, if you lack confidence in anything, if somebody comes at you with an objection, I don't have time, or that's a scam, or I can't do this, you need to come back and ask yourself, this could change her life like it's changing mine. Therefore, I'm going to like pull up my big girl pants and I'm going to borrow Rochelle or Shelby or whoever your upline is. I'm going to borrow their confidence for a second and I'm going to answer this objection because you know what? I had the same objections. I had the same fears. I had the same things that this girl might not know what this business can do for her. So when she says she's too busy, I'm not going to sit back and go, I don't have the confidence to do this. I'm going to be like, you know what? I thought I was too busy too. And what I found, okay, there's like this feel, felt, found method that we like to use on this team, right? And so when somebody comes comes to you with an objection, you can say, you know, I have felt that before, but here's what I've found. Okay. And when you do that, what you're telling them is like, I'm validating this, what you're saying, because I felt the same way. You're leveling with them. Right. But then you're like, here's what I found. You actually can, work this in to the nooks and crannies of your day. And you don't have to, spend hours and hours and hours on your phone. In fact, we don't want you to do that. If you're spending hours and hours and hours on your phone, that's not going to be enjoyable, right? Now, don't get me wrong. When you first start, yes, you will be working more than you probably want to. Okay. But it's just like anything. If you go and start a brand new job, at a car dealership or something you've never done before. Okay. That's just an example. You're going to put in more hours. You're going to put in more hours of training. You're going to put in more hours of thinking about it, right? You're going to go home at night and you're going to think about like, how can I be better tomorrow? How can I learn more about this? How can I, all of these things, because it's new. It's a new job. You're going to have to learn new skills, right? And so it's the same thing when you first come in here. It's all about learning. And when you come in and you're afraid of being successful and you're afraid of failing, right? Because some of us are just as afraid of success as we are of failing, right? Drop a 4 if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like you're almost on this hamster wheel of like, I need to be successful, but wait a second. What if I'm successful and then I fail, right? And then it's like all of a sudden you're afraid of failure and you're afraid of success all at the same time. And some of us just need to take that pressure off and go, you know what? As long as I'm working on growth every stinking day, whether it's, I told this to our diamonds and above the other night. You have a cup. We talk about self-development all the time, right? And we talk about it with filling our cup, right? You fill your cup, and if your cup is overflowing at all times, then your business is going to be good, your life is going to be better, all these things. But I had kind of an aha moment the other day, and I was like, I don't have just one cup. You guys, I don't have just one cup that is overflowing. Think of it as like how many hats you wear. Okay, so a lot of us are moms. A lot of us go to college. A lot of us are wives. I don't know. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm exhausted, you guys. A lot of us are, you know, business owners. We're all these things, okay? And so you have different cups that you need to fill. So maybe your business cup is overflowing right now, but your marriage cup is dry. And you need to start putting more into that cup. You need to fill that cup. You guys, this business doesn't mean that you only grow for your business. You're going to grow as a person. This is a business with a compensation plan. Okay. What is it? It's a Shelby, how do we say that? Because I'm like, you know what I'm talking about? It's a self-development plan. Is that what it is? A self-development plan with a
I always forget it too. Sorry, I'm the worst.
I'm the worst, but if you guys get the gist of it, okay, we're the worst. Okay. It's like this business is all about self-development and you basically get paid to grow. Okay. You get paid to grow your mind. You get paid to grow yourself. You get paid to become a better you, whether that's about your business or not. Okay. Hopefully I got that, got that across. Okay. Bear with us, you guys. But anyways, fill different cups. So like for me personally, this is just a side note. I'm like off script right now, so you never know what could come out. But honestly, this is just a side note. For me, I always am reading a spiritual book. Okay. I'm always filling my spiritual cup. Okay. So I always at least have a spiritual book. And then lately I've had like a mom book or like a temper tantrum book. Cause twos are real. Okay. So I'm like, how do I deal with these temper tantrums plus a newborn? Like what in the world? So I'm reading one of those right now. And then I always have a business book. Okay. So I'm always business. And then, if something was going on in our marriage that I wanted to like grow better in, I would start listening to an audible about marriage or what area I can grow in. In fact, we're actually just about to start a couples book. We're going to be reading Relationship Goals by Michael Todd with like a couple other couples. And I'm super excited to dive into that. So again, I'm filling all sorts of these different cups. There's not just one cup. So make sure that all of your cups are filled. And the most important cup is your cup. Okay. Like the one that fuels you, the one that actually gives you passion, the one that makes you excited. Because here's the thing, you cannot, like newsflash, in case you guys didn't know this, you cannot run a successful business, be a good mom, and a good wife if you are not taking care of you first. Okay. You have to come first. Always. And I know that that sounds like ass backwards because a lot of us mamas are like, what do you mean? I don't eat until like 9 p.m. and I don't shower until like 9 p.m. because I have to take care of my kids and I have to do all this. You guys, that's like, you're going to have seasons of life that are like that. But trust me when I say, if you can get up even 10 minutes before your kids do and say a prayer or get in the shower and just have 10 minutes to yourself listening to an Audible book before you start your day and before the chaos begins, I'm telling you, it will make such a difference. It will make such a difference because you are taking care of you and filling your cup. You'll have more patience for your kids. You'll have more patience for your business and you'll feel more motivated, right? Okay, back onto my notes. Last night we were at, this is just like a little sentence if you want to write it down. It's something that I loved. We were at Pam Souter's house. She's our chief networking officer for our monthly mastermind. And one of the things that she said was she hears a lot of distributors when they first come on, or even when they see their first success, they will say, I'm really scared to lose it. I'm afraid to lose it. But I'm also afraid that it's not going to grow. Okay. So once they get to a certain point, let's say Diamond, for example, they'll be like, well, I'm just so scared to lose this rank. I'm so scared to lose this rank. But then I'm also afraid that it's not going to grow. Okay. Drop a 5 if you've been there, right? At that mindset. And what Pam said was, well, I'll tell you this right now, you're not going to lose it if you continue to work, right? You're not going to lose it, but it won't grow unless you grow. So it was like such an aha moment for me because it's like, we're so afraid that our business isn't going to grow, but the key to it, like the key to it growing 100% is as long as you are growing. As long as you personally are growing, your business is going to grow. It's honestly that simple. Forget the steps to success for just a second. Forget the work for just a second. If you are growing your mind and you are growing as a person every single day, your business will inevitably grow, period. Okay, I promise you that. But of course, your steps to success is going to be the fastest way to grow your business, along with pairing it with self-growth, right? Okay. I'm going to move to this because we only have 5 minutes left. This is something that's really been huge for my business this year. So earlier this year, we started the prayer of Jabez. A lot of us on this call read the prayer of Jabez at the beginning of this year. If you have not read it, if somebody can drop that in the comments, the prayer of Jabez, I forget who it's by, but seriously, it's the best book ever. Seriously, especially if you're spiritual. It's something that is like, has changed the game for my business and a lot of yours as well. Okay. But somewhere along the lines in the middle of the year, I got off of praying it. Like I just got, actually, I'll be completely transparent with you and tell you why I stopped praying it. Bruce Wilkinson, I think is who it's by, right? Okay. Anyways, the reason why I stopped praying it is because God was blessing me too much. Okay, that might sound like really stupid and some of you want to like roll your eyes and puke right now, but I'm not kidding you. If you don't know what the prayer of Jabez is, it's 3 things. Actually, I have it on my lock screen, okay? Literally my lock screen right here. Every single morning when I wake up, I pray this. And it says, oh Lord, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. It's that small of a prayer, okay? But listen to the first sentence. Oh Lord, that you would bless me. Okay, you're asking God to bless you. And literally every single day that I pray this prayer, because I do it every day, not only am I looking for blessings because I asked for them, right? And so my day just goes better. But the second that one happens, I'm even that more grateful for it. Okay. Like something as simple as I'm laying Huxton down while he's awake and he puts himself to sleep. And I'm like, thank you, Lord, for that blessing. Like, I didn't need to rock him and spend an hour doing it. If you know my daughter, you know that I literally would spend hours upon hours trying to get her to sleep. And I would lay her down, and 10 minutes later, she would wake up. And I just remember crying my eyes out. Like, when will she ever sleep? Right. And so for me, the biggest blessing of all is that I can set down my 6-week-old son and he will literally put himself to sleep. And I am like, thank you, God. Like, that's the best blessing in the world. Okay. So like, your blessings are going to look different. Sometimes it's that a loyal customer or a distributor signs up overnight. You literally wake up and you get a notification and you're like, what? This girl that I was talking to like 3 weeks ago, I gave her my website to sign up and she never signed up and I never heard from her and I don't know why. And I followed up so many times. And then all of a sudden you pray this prayer of Jabez and the next morning you wake up and that girl signed up. Like, it's not coincidence, you guys. All you have to do is ask him to bless you. And like I said, I'm being transparent. I literally stopped praying the prayer at one point because I was like, Lord, you need to pump the brakes on this. Like, my business is overflowing. Like, I can't keep up. Like, I cannot keep up with these blessings. And so it sounds pretty sad that I would stop praying it, but I couldn't catch up. And then there was a time where I was feeling like, what am I missing? I'm missing something. Like, I'm missing something. And this was just a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I stopped asking God to bless me. I stopped asking, and he wants to give you all of these blessings, you guys. So anyways, the prayer of Jabez is something that you absolutely have to read and start doing. Every single morning I lay in bed and I am feeding Hux, and he starts to like whine and get all hangry, right? And so Huntley can hear him. And whenever he wakes up, her little feet come pitter pattering down the hall and she runs in and she's like, he's up, mommy and Hux are up. And she jumps up into my bed and I pray the prayer out loud every morning. And she has started with me going like this. As I pray it, she has started going like this. Like, it's like this thing that we do every morning now. It's only been 3 mornings in a row, but she's like praying with me because she knows that I'm going to do it every single morning. And so now I know that if I forget to do that, my little girl is sitting there with her hands folded like, mommy, we're going to pray the prayer of Jabez. Like, and so it's just become something that is like so ingrained in me. And I just had to, I had to share it. I don't know who needed to hear it tonight, but I had to share it because if you're in need of blessings, or if you're wondering why God is blessing others and he's not blessing you, trust me when I say this, he wants to. He just needs you to ask for it. That's all you have to do is ask for it, and he's going to just shower you with blessings. So Shelby, did you want to end out with anything?
Nope, that was so good. Thank you for sharing that, Rochelle. That was like sweet of Huntley. But there's also, okay, one thing I did want to add, and I can't remember the name of it, but there's a second book too. So if you guys have already read Prayer of Jabez, I think it's Beyond Jabez.
Yes,
I think is the title. And it's just I can't think of the word, but
it actually like breaks it down.
Yeah. For me, that was something that I really wanted and needed. And so it's just a level 2 on the book, and definitely recommend that one as well. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. This, like I said, filled my cup. I love being with my girls, and I just pray that you guys got a lot out of this, and you're just excited to end this year strong, and that you can start really honing in on dreaming again and having vision for yourself and for your business and for your family and for your personal life. And, I think a big thing too is when we give you a challenge or we suggest a book or 2 books or whatever, I know we all have a lot going on in our lives, and maybe you're already reading a book and listening to a podcast and doing a 90 or maybe you have a little group chat challenge going on or whatever. But when we suggest these things to you, you guys do them, because we're not just blowing smoke out of our butts. Like, we really, I at least personally really think that these will help you a lot, especially as we finish out this year. So go get the books, do the challenge, start taking your thoughts captive and truly thinking about the things you're thinking about, and reversing them if they're negative thoughts into the positive ones. And I'm just excited to see where that takes all of us. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for jumping on. This was recorded, and I will be sharing it tomorrow for anyone that might have missed it or wants to do a replay. Love you guys. Good night.